One of the most legendary stories in Miami Hurricanes football history. Our guest today predicted he was going to knock out a Texas Longhorn in the first play of the game, and he did exactly that.
You are Locked On Canes, your daily podcast on the Miami Hurricanes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I am Alex Donno, University of Miami alumnus, co-host of Locked On ACC and host of Postgame on the Hurricanes Radio Network. And thank you to the everydayers for making Locked On Canes your first listen. We're available free wherever you get your podcasts. We're free on YouTube. We're part of the #1 Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Have your cake and drink it too. Birthday cake flavor is back. No fork needed. Vanilla cakey flavor, caffeinated kick, and no sugar. It's party time. Order now at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. I'm so excited for today's loaded episode with our special guest. We're not only going to get memories from the glory days, including one of the most amazing stories to come out of the infamous 1991 Cotton Bowl. We're also going to get our guest's view on Mario Cristobal's direction for the program. I'm joined not only by the truth teller for a bonus second appearance of the week, but Bruce Warner has brought a special guest with him.
Yeah, I'm introducing a friend of mine for many, many years. Love this guy. What a person, forgetting about the football aspect of it. Holds a record for, 103-yard punt return in the NFL, still a record. And he's now, I'm officially calling him the Mike Tyson of kickoff returns because he knocked out, what's his name, Chris Samuels? And he said he was going to do it before the game. Yeah. They said it on the TV station before they kicked off. And I knew about it like the morning of because Caesar called me up and said, Bailey's running around telling Ray he's going to knock somebody out. It sure as heck, man. He went down there and boom. And the announcer said they heard it upstairs. The hit was so hard. Robert Bailey is my guest. And Robert,
I appreciate it, guys.
Welcome to the show, my
Welcome.
friend.
It's wonderful being on the show with you guys, and especially Bruce. We go way back, back in the day, college days, and I appreciate you. I appreciate your friendship. Relationships are everything in life. No one wants to go through a life alone. And I cherish all the relationships that I've built over my lifetime, and you're one of them. And I'm thankful and happy to be on your show.
Well, we appreciate you being here. And of course, as I said to Alex, and we said yesterday when we didn't have a show, almost, whenever I see him, it's not like hi or how are we hug. That's how close we hug. It's not an issue. I don't care if there's 50 other guys around. We hug. It's just the way it is. So I appreciate his friendship too. He's been there for me. I've been there for him. Now I'm here to help him again in a different way. But we'll get to that in a little while.
We will.
All right. So explain when you guys came out of the tunnel against the Cotton Bowl and you stood in the middle of the field. And I remember Steven going Steven didn't say a word to too many people. He was going like this. Come on. And you went out there to kick off. Carlos has got the ball in the middle of the field. And you said what? And where did you say it? In the locker room or when?
I was in the locker room.
This is great.
So let me just give you a little insight to what led up to that. It was just it was one of those bowl games that we didn't feel welcomed. We were in Texas, Dallas, Texas. We didn't feel welcome at all. This was during a time when media and the public just love to bash us, and the whole convict versus Catholic thing was already pretty much well known around the entire country. So at the bowl game, we're at the bowl game. We feel like we probably shouldn't even be there. We should be playing for the national championship, and they're just really being very disrespectful. University of Texas, and their players are just, the media is showing their players doing community relations stuff and activations. And when they show us, we're at some, restaurant partying and they just painted a really negative light on us. And I just remember one of the players, and that was their running back, Chris Samuels, I think. Yeah, it was, and he just, he was just really, at the time, disrespectful in some of the things he was saying about us as a team, and I remember it really bothered me.
But Stan Thomas was mouthing off against Russell, said he didn't.
Yeah, Stan Thomas was mouthing. A lot of people were mouthing off, and I just remember telling the guys, "I'm gonna knock that dude. I'm gonna knock." I said it in much more colorful words, but I basically said that I was gonna knock him out. And so if you really watch the kickoff, I think if you compare that to all the other kickoffs, I probably was the fastest one down the field. I was really upset and on fire. My temper was already running like I got out of a fight. And when I got to him, it's not even like I was surprised I got to him before anybody else. I remember just running full speed and just lowering my head on him. And when I hit him, I mean, I felt the hit. You know what I mean? I felt my helmet collide into his, and I heard the noise. I didn't know he wasn't going to get up. I knew he would be wobbly, but he stayed down, and then they came out and got him. And I really honestly didn't know that they had walked him off the field, and that he had basically gone in the ambulance and left the game. I didn't know that until like after the game, because I was already on the field for offense, for their offense and our defense. I really wasn't trying to find out what was happening to him at that moment. But after the game, I found out that he didn't come back in the game, and that he had gone on to get checked up, and I didn't even, to be honest, guys, I didn't even know it was as bad as it was until I was in the NFL. I was playing for the Rams, and we did one of those not even preseason, like training camp practices, joint practices with the San Diego Chargers, and he was on that roster. And while we were practicing, he came up to me and he introduced himself. He said, "Yeah, I'm the guy you hit." He wasn't even in pads; he was in street clothes, because he said he still hadn't recovered. And at that moment, now this is months later, draft happened, training camp, all this. This months later that I find out that this guy still can't play, and he never really played after that.
Oh wow!
Didn't you do the bunny hop a couple of times in that game? I saw you hopping up.
No, I didn't do the bunny hop. I did that, like that what do they call it, the splash. They call it like the Nestle splash or something like that. One of those names. But I did like the splash where I went back and fell on the field. I wasn't a bunny hopper.
Oh, you weren't. I thought you did. All right. Good.
No.
Well, and in that game, 46-3, I know, again, it wasn't a national championship game. And like you said, Robert, you guys felt that that's what you should have been playing for.
Right.
There was the extra chip on the shoulder for all the other external reasons. But like that game, watching that thing and then reliving it through the You documentary, it was one of the most fun things. Just those, like, was that the most fun game that you played in?
For me, there were a lot of fun games, man. I love playing against Notre Dame. At Notre Dame, that was a lot of fun. I think I had like 16 tackles or something at Notre Dame. But yeah, the Texas Cotton Bowl game was a lot of fun, because I think almost every series, almost majority of series, I made some sort of impact play. I made the kickoff tackle, and then we get on the field, and for the first down, I make the next tackle, and then for the second down, I make the next tackle, and then and so it was like a series of just plays that just kept coming to me because of how fired up I was running to the ball, beating people to the ball, just ready to take it out on Texas. And ultimately, like you guys mentioned, we really ran the score upon them. We had more penalties than any. I think we broke the record for penalties, and so it was a statement game. It was a lot of fun. Obviously, for University of Miami officials and the president, they weren't smiling, or they weren't happy that we won in that manner. They wanted it to be clean, but at that point we were taking on the role as the criminal, so we didn't really give a damn.
Folks, we're going to get some more unbelievable stories as we're only getting started with Robert Bailey on this brand new episode of Locked On Canes. You want to keep it locked.
I'm Clea Butler, host of Locked On Women's Basketball, and this is Mazda's Women's Basketball Snapshot, celebrating the work no highlight reel can ever capture. It was a heavyweight showdown between number 3 South Carolina and number 7 LSU, and the Gamecocks rose to the occasion. South Carolina secured a hard-fought 79-72 victory to stay atop the SEC standings, using a balanced offensive attack to outlast the Tigers. Tessa Johnson led the way with 21 points, while Raven Johnson added 19. Medina Okot dominated the paint with a double-double, finishing with 12 points and 17 rebounds, while Joyce Edwards chipped in 10 points to round out the scoring. With the statement win, the Gamecocks now turn their attention to a road matchup at number 23 Alabama on Thursday. These moments are earned off the clock, those long before the lights ever come on. The sweat, the fakes, the doubt, the scrapes, and coming back for more every time. Mazda puts that same drive into every detail. Wins define the moment, putting in the work, that defines you. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you.
Have you ever wanted to experience the NBA Finals live and in person? FanDuel is giving you the chance to turn that dream into reality with their NBA sweepstakes. Here's how it works. Use your profit boost on any NBA future, and you'll automatically be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for 2. That's right, flights, tickets, the whole experience. If you're already looking at the board and thinking about which team can make a deep run, this is the perfect time to lock it in. I love futures this time of year. Whether it's picking the team to win the championship or grab a conference title, it adds that extra layer of excitement to every game down the stretch. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Use your profit boost on an NBA future and get entered for your chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Thank you for making Locked On Canes your first listen. And if you're an everydayer, make your status official by joining the all-access tier of the Everydayer Club. Folks, on that all-access tier, I work my butt off every single day to bring you exclusive episodes, newsletters, one-on-one texting with me, and so many other great benefits. Go to lockedoncanes.supercast.com to become an all-access everydayer today. The thing that always just has an effect on me as a lifelong University of Miami guy is the brotherhood, of the teams that you played on. And you played for, 6 or 7 different NFL teams. But did you ever have that same sort of brotherhood that you had at the U?
I would say no. And the reason being is at University of Miami, it was probably the hardest training time of my life in terms of what Jimmy Johnson and Brad Roll, who stayed, Brad Roll, our weight room coach. I think it was one of the hardest training times of my life. And when you go through something like that with your teammates, your peers, the guys that you wake up next to and go through a day of hell and then go to sleep next to, it's almost like a little bit like the military, sleeping in the bunks, being with this group of people, trusting in them. I think that's what brought us really, really close. And then a lot of the guys on the team were from Miami, so you knew them, whether it was playing with them in high school or playing against them. A lot of the team came from this community. So we were a close-knit group, 100% a close-knit group. yeah, we had a few guys from Texas and a couple other places, but they meshed in really well with us. And I think it was just the type of training that we did as a group together that really bonded us. And that's why I I feel like there's no other level or team that I was on that bonded like that. You know, when you're in the NFL, you basically go to training camp and then you start the season. They expect the off season for you to train on your own and do your own thing, and you're doing your own thing, and then you go and the new guys that got drafted are there, and then you do your practices and you go through training camp, obviously. But it's not like college. College, you're there all year round. You're in class with these guys. You're walking on campus with these guys. You're meeting up afterwards with the guys. It is a total different concept in terms of how much you're with each other and just the brotherhood. You know, the brotherhood coming out of high school, being young, and then being the first time away from home. And so you lean on these guys that you got to go out on the field and blood, sweat, and tears with. So there was no other team that I played on or no other situation that I can even come close to comparing to the time I had at University of Miami.
You know, it's interesting because being down there, and you've heard this before, you had guys before you. You had Melvin and Alonzo and those guys. They set the tone, and then you guys show up, and it's part of what you learn. It's like a religion. And everybody, all the guests we've had, I've had a lot of your former teammates and a lot of former players and coaches on this show, and they all say the same thing: green tree. They say green tree, and that's it. It's green tree. That's where we win. We win during the week. We go out there and kick ass. True,
right? 100%. You know, Melvin, I was one of I consider myself one of the lucky guys that when I came in as a freshman, all those players that you named were seniors, right? Like Michael Irvin and Melvin Bratton and Alonzo Highsmith and the Blades brothers. Just think about that. I got an opportunity to come in and learn from legends, right? Legends. And even though I was one of few guys that didn't get redshirted, you know, it was a time where these guys put us under their wings and they showed us all the steps. They showed us where to go, where not to go, how to practice, how not to practice. And trust me, man, they weren't babying us either. You know, I mean, I think during my training camp time at University of Miami, my freshman year, I think there was a fight every single day in the locker room. You know, every single day. I've seen fights in the shower. I've seen fights in the locker room. I've seen fights on the field. But it was weird, man. It wasn't those kind of fights that guys walk away and hate each other. It was those kind of fights that when you walk away, you almost become best friends, right?
It is weird.
It was like it's like a rite of passage.
Yes.
You have to fight this guy. I remember me and Hurley Brown fought in the locker, like his locker's next to mine, and he's talking trash, I'm talking trash. We start fighting. I mean, we start like fighting right, our lockers next to each other. And then nobody broke it up. We just stopped. You know, it's like you don't have to break it up. It's not like we're punching each other in the face either. You know, a lot of these fights are just wrestling, you know, because you're not trying to knock a guy's tooth out or anything or break a orbital bone. It is almost like we're testing to see who's tough enough to be on this team. And if you couldn't get through that, you weren't going to be on the team. So, you know, that was major, just being able to come in with Michael Irvin and those guys. And then when they left, be able to keep that tradition going.
Get your opinion on the team this year and what's going on with Mario turning this around. It's about time.
I could tell you, man, the biggest the biggest thing that really changed the pride I had in this team was losing to SMU and then having the wherewithal to fight back from, because SMU to me, if you lose to them, you're not at the bottom of the barrel. You're under the barrel. It is embarrassing to lose to
I
SMU.
didn't lose that game. I still don't understand it.
Well, it's funny
back.
because let me say something that ties the past to the present, Robert. Miami committed a ton of penalties in that game. And when I criticize the performance afterwards, I get a ton of comments like, hey, well, remember the Cotton Bowl in 1990? They committed 100 penalties. They still blew them out. But, that's an uncommon thing. Typically, you commit 13 penalties, you're usually not going to win a football game.
Right. But they didn't prepare at all.
Right. Well, we get put under the barrel. And then for that team, the mindset to come out of that and continue to play and then get into the playoffs and then do what they did in the playoffs with the teams that were in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just think about this. They lost to SMU. They beat a team that was ranked number 1 in the country. And the team that was number 2, that was now number 1, they took to the last whistle.
Yeah.
To me, I think that span of time is what Mario changed in terms of spirit and energy moving forward for University of Miami as the U. Before that time, I think before that loss and after, that whole span, the loss and then to the end, I think any time before that was just, hey, are we good? Are we really good?
Mm-hmm.
Or are we going to just be good for this year and then not next year? Hey, are they going to have another loss like they did with SMU next year? No, I think now is probably the most solidified time that this team can say they're back from going through that SMU loss and then going all the way to the end. I think, and then now Mario signed Mensa and the team's got some reload and you got the weapons on offense and you built back up the defense. I think this team is back. I think Miami's, like the stigma is back. But I think it all came from that moment of SMU to the national championship. I think a lot of the believers in the building are no longer fakers; they're real believers.
Yeah.
See,
You get what I'm saying now?
Absolutely.
Right. So before that, they were believers, but there was a little doubt.
Right.
Yeah.
When I was going to
I don't think there's doubt anymore.
When I was going to watch you guys, I used to watch you guys practice, but when you came off a loss, I knew and everybody else knew, and you guys knew that whoever you played the following week was dead.
Was going to get it. They were going to get it.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
But up until the last couple of weeks of the season, I never thought that.
Right. That's my point.
We lost to Louisville. All right, we beat Stanford, big deal. And then we lay an egg against SMU. See, that's not Miami.
Right.
Now we'll see what happens because know and I know that when you guys, even if you went on the road after a loss, I don't care who it was.
We were gonna we weren't gonna lose twice, and we were gonna crush whoever we went after. It was gonna. That was the mindset and the mentality that we had. But yeah, I think everybody in the building now are true believers. There's no doubt. I think whoever comes into the locker room, there's gonna be Miami guys waiting to bring that guy in and say, hey, this is where it's gonna be, right? This how we gonna do it. This is you. And I just think there's a different level of pride for People coming to the U, the expectation coming to the U. Think about this. What school in the last 3 years convinced a quarterback to come out of the draft and come back to school?
Yeah.
You know,
We did it twice.
No, 3 times.
Yeah.
3 times. Because Ward was definitely going into the draft.
Yeah.
And we convinced him to come back. And then, what's his name?
Beck.
But Beck had elbow surgery. I don't know where he was.
Yeah, but Beck was going into the draft.
He was going. Yeah.
He was going into the draft. Trust me. Everybody was like, Beck's going into the draft. And then all of a sudden they were like, holy, Beck's not going into. He's coming to Miami. He comes, and they told Beck, don't go to the draft. We'll get you a higher draft pick. We'll make you higher. Look what we did with Ward. That's how they got Beck. And then now Mensa. Mensa could have went into the draft and been a high pick. I think, but he was going to Duke, and then we got him away from Duke. I mean, I just think that the school and all schools need quarterbacks. And I just think that we to have now coming on to our third like top quality quarterback says a lot about Mario.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
he's been the one guy. Come on, guys. He's been the one coach that says what he means and means what he says. I think a lot of coaches out there that get hired and come to UM or whatever school they go to, they say what they expect the media and the president and everybody wants them to say. Mm-hmm. I think Mario says what he means, and he means what he says, and he truly believes it.
Folks, we're not done yet with Miami Hurricanes great Robert Bailey. Keep it locked in for more amazing stories and awesome Miami Hurricanes breakdowns. Tax season does not have to take over your life. This year, TurboTax is making it easier than ever to just hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax Full Service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert start to finish without the stress or guesswork. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with a local TurboTax expert in person or connect online, and they will handle everything from W-2s to self-employed forms and work to get you every deduction. It's a huge time saver, and it gives real peace of mind knowing that an expert is handling it. So for a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just $150 all in if a TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year. Just file by February 28th. Take taxes off your plate and get back to your life. Visit TurboTax.com/local to book your appointment today. We're also proudly brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Welcome to the 5 Hour Energy Flavor Draft. We're looking at every aspect of the draft to let you know which tasty flavors are the best and which just might be sleepers. The board is set, the flavors are ready, and only one is going to take the top spot. Guys, 5 Hour Energy has a wide variety of flavors and something for everyone. Now, for my first round pick, I'm going with the Reuben Bain of this flavor draft, and that's berry. I've been drinking berry probably for decades, tried and true with a big, bold flavor, slightly sweet, very fruity. It's a classic mixed berry flavor with notes of raspberry and blackberry. For my sleeper, you know who's rising up the board kind of like Akeem Mesidor? Strawberry banana, a tropical delight with strawberry, a taste that goes in everything from smoothies and milkshakes to cake and ice cream, and that soft, mellow banana finish. Guys, you have to try these flavors if you haven't already. Find your new favorite flavor of 5 Hour Energy shots available online at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. I want to give you a chance, Robert, to talk about your foundation. So Bruce, please, if you want to get into that. Yes, you're 100% right.
100%. I do. We have a foundation. It's called Kennedy Kids Foundation, named after my daughter. I lost her 4 years ago by suicide. And since then, we've been on this massive, motivated, journey to save other kids and youth in our community, help them with their mental health, help them with their suicide ideation. Kids are taking, dying by suicide every day, every week. They're reaching out to us, and we work with Nicholas Children's Hospital. We work with Brave Health. We work with Discovery to help the kids get therapy. We have a program with Nicholas Children's Hospital in the summertime. We do summertime camp with them with kids, and the camp counselors aren't camp counselors. They're actually therapists who are acting as camp counselors. So they do camp things. They go on field trips. They do things that, in the facility, but they're constantly being worked on by the therapist. So that's a program that we fund with them. So during the year, we do a lot of activations in the community in terms of fundraising. And one that we have coming up is our pickleball tournament on Saturday at Diadem at Coconut Creek. It's a tournament to have a lot of fun, but it's really it's a fundraiser, and it's an opportunity for us to talk about mental health awareness, talk a little bit about the tools and some of the processes and procedures if you're dealing with someone that's going through a mental crisis, how to go through that, what to do, what not to do. So we use these activations and opportunities in our community to talk to the community and so that people can walk away from things that we've done in the community and feel like they've been educated a little more. It's also about awareness.
Oh,
You can't
Yeah.
stress how important it is to open your mouth and talk about it. Don't keep it. Don't it's not taboo. Don't think, hey, I don't want to tell anybody my son's not doing well. We're gonna keep it inside. We're gonna keep it inside our house. Don't tell anybody. Well, that's the fastest way to losing a child.
Mhm.
Is not talking about it. You got to talk about it. You got to reach out to your local hospital. You can call 911. You can take your daughter to the emergency room and Baker Act, or you 100%. You can call the sheriff's office. They'll come out, and if your son or daughter is going through a mental crisis and not listening to mom or dad, don't worry, the sheriff will take them to the hospital and Baker Act, or that doesn't cost you anything. If you're worried about costs, right? If you're worried about costs, go on the back of your insurance card, call that 800 number. They'll tell you all the therapists in your community based on your zip code that are in your network of your insurance, and then they'll pay for the therapy for your child through your insurance. A lot of people don't notice. They think that they're going to call a therapist on the phone, and then that therapist is going to be a $250 an hour deal. No, if you use your insurance, call the number on the back of your insurance card, get an in-network therapist. The insurance will pay for the therapist. So please, if you can support us, come this Saturday, or you go to kennedykids.org and click on the top left. You can click on the events button and register. It is this Saturday at Diadem facility in Coconut Creek. If you can go on kennedykids.org and click on the events button, you can register. In September, we're going to be doing our 5K. We're going to probably push it up to 10K. I'm hoping to see you two out there. You can walk it, you can jog it, you can run it. And if you can't do any of those, you can crawl it, Bruce. So
what time Saturday? Because I live in Parkland. I'm right next to Coconut.
You're right next to it. 9 a.m. There's a stat that says when a teenager tries to commit suicide and fails, the chance of them doing it again jumps up 50%.
Oh my.
Right? And then if they fail the second time, the chances of them doing it again jumps up 90%. Right? So every time that goes up, that means they're going to get closer and closer to achieving their goal.
And they can't handle things in life. Like, I'm not sure about your daughter. I think I know what happened, but I don't know. But this girl was 13. Let's say a year from now, her boyfriend breaks up with her. How does she handle it? She
wasn't taught the tools from the first time. She doesn't, she doesn't know who to reach out to. You gotta really give them the tools and the resources that they can help themselves, right? They gotta get so close with their therapist that, and most therapists are 24 hours a day. And the most therapists will tell their clients, if you ever go through a moment, call me. I don't care if it's 1 a.m, 2 a.m, because their job is to like bring them off that wall, right? Their job is to bring them off that wall, get them calmed down, call the parent. Hey, your child's going through something. Go see them right away. I still have them on the phone. But you know, your child is going to open up more to the therapist than their parents.
Yeah.
They always open up more to the stranger because they don't want to be judged.
Right.
So they're going to open up to the therapist, but you got to provide, you got to put those elements in their space so they have those elements to go to.
Robert, a lot of things are a lack of self-esteem. That's a big part of this. Big part of it. A big part of it. Lack of
and I wanted to say, Robert, like God bless you for being able to have the wisdom to respond from an unimaginable tragedy, but to respond in a way that you're helping others and raising awareness. I think that because I can't even begin to imagine what you and your family went through. And I've said the same.
You cannot imagine. You cannot imagine. And I can't even tell you. I can't tell you the pain. If I could explain the pain that I went through, and every parent that goes through when they lose their child, I can't explain it to you guys. I can't explain it to you, man. I was in so much pain. I begged my wife to take me to the church. I couldn't breathe. I went to the church and just fell on the floor. No one was even in there, and just cried to Jesus on the cross and begged him to take care of my daughter. It was, man, it's, you know, I said to myself, there's no way a regular person could get through this. And remember, I was trained as a football player to handle, you know, to handle adversity. So I leaned on those past trainings and those practices and the hard times, and I thought about those times, and it got me through. But I said to myself, what about people who have never had that opportunity to learn how to get through? So I said, man, I'm not trying to have anyone join this fraternity. And I literally months after losing my daughter, I said, man, we got to start a foundation. We got to help kids. We can't let this happen. There's no way a parent can get through this. And you know, we've helped dozens of kids already, and we've got partnerships with schools. You know, we just finished a partnership we did with Seed School, where, you know, we have ambassadors that walk around the school. They have on these bracelets right here that says Kennedy Kids, and it says, you know, dial 988, you know, for help, and it says it all on the bracelet, and they walk around among their peers, and when they see something within the school groups, or you know, within their school activities, a kid that's maybe not engaging, who's sad, who looks down, or says something that lets them know that something's going on, they're ambassadors of Kennedy Kids. Their job is to go and let someone know at the school. And so those are programs that we create just to try to bring the connection closer between the kid that's having this mental stress, this mental breakdown, and help. So right now is far away, but we're just trying to close the dots. Just want to close the dots so that we can help these kids and get them the tools. So that's what KennedyKids.org is about, our foundation. And, you know, every year we put on multiple programs and activities in the community. And if you want to be on our newsletter, you can go into KennedyKids.org and be in our newsletter and find out what we're doing and be a part of it and reach out to us. You know, we have emails, and there's just, you know, we have Foundation Kennedy Kids on Instagram, and so we're extremely activated in the community, and we're happy to help.
Incredible work Robert's doing. Huge shout out to Robert Bailey, Shout out to the truth teller, Bruce Warner. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. We'll talk to everyone next time on another episode of Locked On Canes. We are part of the #1 Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
God bless you guys. Thank you.